Hey guys, it's Ben back at you. This episode of the DogBone Podcast is a clip from a seminar we did a few weeks back. And in this one, Jeremy is covering how we let our puppies be puppies without developing bad habits. This is a real important topic because developing good habits right from the get-go is a whole lot easier than having to go back and train out bad habits when the dog is older. We also go over a few real easy drills that Jeremy does all the time for taking your dog on and off lead to get them to stop pulling their heads out and not fighting you over putting the lead on. So we hope you enjoy it. Once again, this seminar, as well as a whole bunch of other seminars that are similar, are on our YouTube channel, playlists, seminars. Check them out. Hope you enjoy it.
The good part for you is you got a puppy. I call them puppies until they're about 2 years old. Now, it's not like on their second birthday they turn into a dog, but like about that time is when I see the maturity level up here match the maturity level down here. There's a hell of a lot of dogs that are in that 10-month-old to maybe 16-month-old range that we get real frustrated with because they're dogs. Why don't they behave like a dog? They look like a dog. They're not a dog up here yet. So I love the idea of let puppies be puppies. But you got to realize everybody's idea of being a puppy is different. I hate the idea of let puppies be puppies if that means let them do whatever they want. Because if he did whatever he wanted, I'd have my hands full. He can really test. Trust me, in the booth, there was a couple of kids that came up to him and really wanted to pet him. I'll talk about a few of his bad habits. He's got a bad habit of wanting to flop. He likes to lay down. He's probably one of the first dogs that I've had do this. He's a very soft little dog, which I like. He'll come up, and about the time you go to start petting him pretty serious, he rolls over, he lays over. And 99% of the time, what do we do when they do that? We rub their belly. So he goes, perfect. I'm training them to do it. I'll come up to him, I'll sit down, and I'll roll over, and they'll rub my belly. That's cute today. It won't be cute in 4 or 5 months when I got a dog that's bringing a dummy back to me and wants to lay down on his belly and get his belly scratched. So sometimes the best training that we can do is avoid the bad habit in the first place. That's oftentimes the most productive training I can do with a young dog. Avoid bad habits altogether. So what he does is he comes up to me, wants to roll over, I stop petting him. And I stand up. And as soon as he realizes that and goes, come on, nothing from me. He goes, well, I'd like to get petted. So he gets back up, and I go, come here. And he comes up, and as soon as he does, I pet him. And then he goes, that's all I got to do. Sit here nicely, he'll pet me. Go to roll over, stop petting him. It's the simplest thing in the world, and it's probably something that we can practice dozens of times a day. But what we do is, instead we go, it's easier and it looks normal to just rub the belly. And then pretty soon the dog's 4 months old laying on his back all the time. So we avoid that. So who feeds their dog? Everyone should raise their hand. If you don't, they'll arrest you. You gotta feed them. No, feeding the dog is the best time to form these habits. Everyone who's got a puppy under 2 years old, here's the thing you can do. You can change this, because a lot of you are shaking your head and going, you haven't seen my 16-month-old. It's hell on wheels. Like it's a real hard dog to handle. Here's the best way to kind of start to change it. And I'm a believer in cultural stuff. Kids develop based on their environment. I believe that greatly. Like we're from Pulaski. Pulaski's kind of a farm. I would call it kind of a farm community. There's we work with a lot of kids from Pulaski High School. They work with us. They work at our shop, and we work with the high school directly. And I am tired of hearing people complain about today's kids. Who in here is under 20 years old? Just a few of you. I'm sick and tired of people bagging on you guys. You guys aren't that bad. And I think if we really thought about it, we'd realize, when I was back in school, I had a bunch of slugs that I went to school with too. Like, there's a lot of really good kids out there right now. We just like to think they're all lazy. They're not. I got these kids that work with us out of Pulaski, they're phenomenal. I can get these kids to start understanding what I'm talking about a lot easier than a lot of you guys, and I'm not picking on you. But there's a lot of you right now that are going, you talk a really good game, but put my dog in your hands. Trust me, I did it already today at our booth. We had a dog that really wanted to yank its head in and out of the collar. So here's a drill I do. Who has this issue when you put the dog on the lead and then you take them off the lead, they want to take off. So it's really hard to get them off lead and have them under control. I see it all the time where you put the dog's collar on, you heel them around, and then as soon as you take the collar off, it's like you just opened up the floodgates of the hose and the water is everywhere. Come here. Now, my goal is not to have dogs on lead. I think they should walk on lead very nicely. I like that. That's a skill. I don't want to have them on lead all the time. I'd prefer to have them off lead. I walked in here with 2 of the dogs off lead. I don't like to have to put them on a lead. Here's the issue. It starts right in the beginning. When we take these leads off, a lot of dogs throw their heads out. And that's freedom, because you don't have them anymore. They're gone. Here's a drill I do with my dog every day. When I start out, every single day, I take the lead, I slide it over the dog, and if you watch, pay very close attention, because this is why I say we're not using force, because when I just put that lead on that dog, I took away all of her freedom. Watch her tail. When I went to go put this lead on, her tail started going like this. That's her happy indicator. Like, she's in a good place. They have to be in a good state of mind to learn. That's why I don't come in here and act like I'm some type of gladiator. I think you got to have respect for the dog if you want the dog to respect you. So I'm not going to let her walk all over me, but I'm not going to beat her up either. So I come in and I put the lead on, and that little tail starts to wag. And so if she pulls her head out, I'm right here. I literally am taking these 2 thumbs and I'm touching her ears as I pull it off. I'm making sure she knows it's coming off. Freedom. But if she goes to pull her head back, I go right back on with the lead. So I pull it off, and if she pulls, I put it back on. As soon as she doesn't pull, it comes right off. And I say, good girl, put it right back on. Do it again, do it again. I got to put the lead on to take the dog for a walk. Take an extra 3 minutes and do this. Here. And get that dog so that instead of us, who's ever seen, so here's the other part. So you take it off and they fight it out. Who's ever seen the guy wrestle with his dog to get him back on lead? Dog's ducking his head, he's dodging, oh God, I gotta wrestle this thing onto the dog. Here's how I wanna put the dog on lead. Put your chin up and stick your head through the hole. Turn this into a game. Like, this shouldn't be punishment. So look at my dog's tail right now. Good girl. Good. That's a drill that didn't take me any more time, but we got something valuable out of it. Any one of you can do it with every one of your dogs.